Welcome to Do Y'all See This?
Reacts.
This is Eva.
And this is Nisi. So today, want to do a little catch up real quick. What's been going on in your life for the last 7 days, Ed?
Oh, there's definitely been a full moon because work has been super crappy. I am not super excited about going back tomorrow. And I'm not sure if it's just the end of summer and everyone's tired and it's just been a lot for the last couple months. And I need a break and the kids need a break. But it's just been, bad behavior and just all kinds of stuff going on at work that's making me doubt my life choices.
While we're right there, so somebody did win part of the Mega Millions.
It wasn't
Ain't that crazy?
me.
I didn't
Yes.
put a ticket in. Yet again, I have missed my moment. My week, it's been pretty blah. I got a lot of appointments coming up this week, which is good. And then back to work. I got the text for the schedule and I'm like, you can keep it. You didn't need to reach out. So we want to jump right into what everyone's here for.
Nichols did die this morning at 89. Miss Nichols is best known for her work on Star Trek as Lieutenant Uhura. She was the first Black star on that show. That she shared the first interracial kiss. She talks about how the producers made her and William Shatner continue to do like some other endings just in case they were going to use that, and they just kept messing up those takes, so they had to use the kiss. So I love that. Like I love
the smart lady.
The passive and malicious compliance. But she was just a trailblazer everywhere. In addition to her work as an actress, she went after increasing the actual diversity in NASA. She went after them and called them out and said, hey, y'all are not going after women. Y'all are not going after people of color. So get some of them in there. And for her work, they did. So we really do need to think of her. The BLERD world is very sad, but the world everywhere should be kind of thanking our stars we had her and look up at the stars tonight. I will say I actually teared up when I heard the news. Yeah, I tried not to get too attached to, to celebrities and stars, but I really feel like she was one of those people who was foundational for so many things. I think a lot of people kind of cried today.
I'm familiar with her obviously because I used to watch Star Trek. I'm more the second Star Trek with Picard and everything, growing up more so. She put her stamp on the show. Remember when Whoopi Goldberg, then we had Jordan LaForge. I do feel like if she hadn't been there, it probably would have been a lot easier for them to be like, well, it's space. We don't really have, we have aliens, we have all these other creatures, but we don't have Black people. Like, so she will be missed.
So one last thing I do want to add is she was actually thinking about quitting early on. She was thinking about leaving Star Trek. She ended up meeting Martin Luther King Jr. at a party, and he told her how instrumental her presence on the TV was for his children. And she was like, yeah, well, I'm about to quit, so enjoy it.
Hope they got it.
Yeah. And he actually encouraged her to stay, and she ended up staying, which I think was a really nice historical intersection.
This week, we also we received an apology from Will Smith. A lot of people feel like it may have been a little too late. In the apology, he sits down. It's kind of a blank room. I honestly thought for a second it was about to be Red Table Talk, and I was about to be like, please, no, this is let's just leave that alone. But he actually sits down in this very beige taupe room, and he sits down and he goes, I'm sure everyone's been waiting to hear from me. He makes sure to acknowledge that this is something that, people were waiting for a little bit. And he right off apologizes. And then he goes on to apologize to Chris Rock's mother. He apologizes to Tony Rock. He acknowledges that him and Tony, who is Chris Rock's brother, had a good relationship. And he does feel like it is irreparable now, but he hopes in the future that they can continue the relationship that they once had. The way it kind of was set up was like a Q&A kind of thing. Like maybe he had asked people like what they thought, or maybe he had seen like online, and he was posing the questions to himself. So you would see the questions come up on the bottom, and it would say something like, why have you not, and he's reading it, why have you not reached out to Chris Rock? And then he would go forth and answer. So he does say that he reached out to his camp, to him, and he's just not, the response he got back was that he is not ready at this time. And so he says when he is ready, he will, communicate with me. But he still wanted to put his apology out there. Some people felt like this whole video thing should have come the next day, or it should have even come in his speech where he received an award that night. And he does address that. He says it was a little fuzzy. He apologizes to Questlove. Yes, Questlove, who received his first award that night. He apologized to him as well. He's like, honestly, I was just, I wasn't thinking at the time. I was thinking more of what was in front of me in that moment. He says in the apology, he's like, I'm trying my best to show remorse without being ashamed. And to me, that came off as, I'm sorry for that this happened, but you know why it happened. I ran up there because you said something, and there's a question where he asked him, did Jadis tell you to do this? And he completely says, no, she didn't tell me to do anything. It was my decision to go up there. So he takes that back. He does admit that this is not the way it should have been handled. And then the other camp is that this apology came too early. Some people feel like he should have waited maybe almost a year or so when people were like missing seeing his face out in public and stuff like that. And then he comes with this apology. And I don't get that one. There is no right time to tell somebody when they should apologize. Just like there is no right time for us to say when Chris Rock should accept the apology. I feel like if he had apologized right then, people still wouldn't have believed it anyway. So I saw this thing online. There's a certain way you're supposed to do an apology. And so I wanted to ask you, Elle, if you agree with this or not, because you haven't watched, right?
No, I haven't watched the video, but I saw like the screenshots and I saw people talking about it online.
All right, so they said that one, you should express remorse, admit responsibility, make amends, and then promise to not let it happen again. Do you agree with this setup of an apology?
Yes, I've heard that, like the components of a decent apology. Like if you're going to do an apology, it's a good place to start.
Now, with that setup, do you believe that this is a setup for someone apologizing who was also offended? How can you say this will never happen again if I don't know what you're gonna do?
In an apology, if you're actually committed to the actual apology and apologizing, then you have to separate the thing that that thing that offended you, that made you act, because you acted. Chris Rock should shut his mouth. Like that's me. That's my opinion. Going after someone personally, you have to face those consequences. Those consequences were Will Smith stepping up and doing something. I think a lot of people say it was not the right place or time to address it. Like that was not the way to do it. With that being said, it's now Will Smith is taking the step to do the apology. You kind of have to set that aside. Yes, I was offended, and he can even add that in his apology and say, I did not like that thing, but I acted. These were my actions, and this is what I'm doing going forward.
Only make the face because sometimes when you toss in, well, I did it because, it kind of sounds like if I offended you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry if I toss that in there, it's like
the apology's null and void.
Am I apologizing then? I almost feel like we as the audience don't need to hear any more of it. And some people are like, oh, the apology needs to be as loud as the slap was. They actually know each other. I don't think we have to. I would be fine if we didn't hear anything else. If this was it, Chris Rock doesn't. But Chris Rock has been acknowledging it slightly. Like he originally said he wasn't going to say anything unless he got paid, but he has been slowly making little, quips when he does comedy specials for people. And so it's like, if you say you're not gonna say nothing, don't say nothing.
And for me, it's almost like Will Smith says in his apology, or it sounds like he says in his apology, that he reached out to Chris Rock's camp to make it a personal apology. Because when I heard that Will Smith had made an apology, my first reaction was, I hope he reached out to Chris first. The apology needs to go to the person it's supposed to go to, and not the audience who watched it on TV. Because that apology wasn't for us. That apology was for You know, the
Chris.
people who were at the event for the first time and trying to enjoy themselves, and for Chris.
And that's kind of why I feel like it shouldn't come. We shouldn't get any more of this.
Yeah, it's
And the
a
reason he apologized to the mom, well, as you said, he does admit that he reached out first. So then he says on camera, "So I apologize to you, Chris." So he apologized. He says he tried to reach out whenever he's ready. He's ready. Then he apologized to Chris. Then he apologized to Chris's mom. He says, "I didn't realize how many people. Obviously, I wasn't thinking it through about how many people I was hurting because the mom had said something about you're hurting all the people and all this and that." And then Tony Rock, because Tony Rock actually expressed how pissed off he was. I would be so happy if this just never, like, this is it. But I know it's not. There's gonna be a Netflix special. It's gonna be something. Because he put, there's like a little clip out there right now where he says something about, yeah, even I got hit by Suge Smith and I still went to work the next day. I didn't get slapped. Who am I to tell somebody how to take a slap?
like you just said, it might be his way of like Chris's way of coping with that situation is to slowly ease it into a funny place. But it
Yeah.
is weird that he won't talk to Will Smith's camp, but he's out here talking about it on his comedy specials. But I mean,
Exactly.
I guess it fits with what he said. If I'm getting paid for it, I'll talk about it.
Right, you're right, you're right. So we're gonna move on. There has been this sauce that is the talk of the nation right now online, and it is the pink sauce. I only heard a little bit. Ev's heard definitely more. So I need, give me the information of what is going on here of this pink sauce.
The way and it did kind of originate on TikTok, so it is like the
Mm-hmm.
TikTok drama that kind of came offline.
Okay.
So Carly P, she's a TikTok chef. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
she's an actual chef, but she said that she was creating this pink sauce for her private clients. Maybe she thought, oh, I'll put it on TikTok and I'll see if I can make some money off of it.
Yeah.
And she was selling it for like $20 a bottle.
How big are these bottles? The bottle,
They're
it can't
like,
be
so you know the stand-up ketchup bottles? They're, I think it's like, what is it, 444 grams, or maybe it's like, so it's not a huge bottle. It's like a ketchup bottle, and it looks like it might have been a ketchup bottle. She just steamed off the labels or something. I don't know where she sourced the bottles. I'm just saying what it looked like. So this sauce that she is peddling on TikTok, it was very popular because it's very pink and it's called the pink sauce. So the ingredients. She was saying that the ingredients included honey, garlic, chili, sunflower seed oil, and dragon fruit, which is why it had that pink color. And then the people would get it, and the labels would actually have additional ingredients, including milk, vinegar,
no.
citric acid, and lemon juice.
Hmm.
And so she was shipping these sauces to people.
With a cooler pack or something?
No, no, Nisi. So basically, when she was shipping them to people, they were coming rotten. They were coming with air in them. Some of them exploded. And because they were not refrigerated, there was no care instructions. The labels were misspelled. Vinegar was misspelled on the labels.
Mm-mm.
It's a lot. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot over the past couple of weeks hearing about it kind of popping up and you heard about pink sauce? I'm like, no. And then now, so she's come out with an apology video, and I use quotation air quotes because it's a video saying, sorry guys, this is happening, but and one of the lines I thought was super great in it
I'm
was
sorry. I just laughed because it's so absurd that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
she's like, I don't know who the FDA are. And I'm just like, that tracks.
They don't know who
Yeah.
you are either. God.
But they will soon. Yeah.
Are you trying to kill people? And then I think I heard some people say they weren't even getting labels. It was just a bottle showing up and that it was an inconsistency in the colors. Just peddle it to your clients until you actually have a system.
Because it does sound like maybe it was something that works for her clients where she could make up a batch in her kitchen or make up a batch while she was cooking and then have it for her clients. And she's very like heavy into the dragon fruit, which is super important. That's to her to make sure that it was included. And so that's why she said that there was different colors, pinks. It was the shipping it and not understanding that it was not going to be the same product that the product that takes 7 to 14 business days is not going to be the same product that you spoon out of a cup, 15, 20 minutes before you serve the food.
she not been hearing about this heat? And it's like 100 degrees everywhere. So what was the last thing we've heard of this then?
So that is the last thing we've heard. That she just came out with the apology either today or yesterday. I'm interested to see where things go now. There's no way she's not getting sued. I'm sorry, there is no way.
You think so?
I think absolutely so. With that being said, it's already being gentrified.
Now that I did see.
So I don't know if it was an actual restaurant or another chef or something, but they came out with a recipe for pink sauce, and it was very much, yes. So, and the fact that she didn't trademark it, she didn't put any of the things that you would as a business to make sure you're keeping ownership of it. I mean, she's going to be sued. It was rotten. The air pockets that you were talking about were there, which could have led to exploding mayonnaise bottles / mold or growth or whatever. And it's not like she has some massive warehouse where she's making this stuff. She's literally making it in her kitchen, as far as I know. There's not like a team of culinary experts who are helping her with this. She should have kept it local.
Like, obviously she was trying to scale the operation and everything, and I get that. I'm just saying, like, you're shipping a food product. You know that your name is on this or behind it or whatever. Someone paid for it. This wasn't a favor or anything like that. Why wouldn't you just send a cooler pack? Instead of 7 to 14, let me go ahead and do 1 to 2 days. 1 to 2 days, we'll put a little bit of cool pack in there. Ma'am, I don't believe that you were diving into your profits by adding this little bit of extra stuff. The slogan or something was the infamous. And without even looking at the definition, think about every time you've heard infamous. The infamous John Dillinger. Like, no one ever hears the word and is like, oh, that's going to be great. No.
Oh, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy now.
It definitely is. It definitely is. You can listen to us everywhere you listen to your podcast. We do have our Guilty Pleasures episode out now. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, and we'll catch up with you next time. Bye.